Assalamu alaikum dear students. Ajik son topic chase array mutlik but miss array part first month. Taken which is need of array, definition of array, and declaration of array. So in the previous video we have discussed what is the need of the array, what are arrays, and syntax and declaration of the array. That have been discussed in the previous video. In today's video, that means in today's array part 2, we will discuss the initialization of an array. This video shows initialization. Which is array part 2, arrays in C part 2. Then this part of it shows initialization of an array. Initialization of an array. In this video, we will discuss how we initialize an array in C. There are two different ways by which we can initialize an array. They are compile time initialization and runtime initialization. Dayo tariko hekos array elements initialize kariye. Aage compile time initialization to aage runtime initialization. First, we will discuss the compile time initialization. The compile time initialization kya chahta? Take care. Compile time initialization. Let's like array declare current. For example, in last video, that can which initialization of array as declares int a of 5. You array declare of that integer and whose size is 5. That means Andrish it king asan. You see this is memory manager chu. 5 array action yet now A. The name of this array is A, and 5 I have to store 5 elements of that integer in this array. Mechi yatmas 5 integer value karin store yet array mus. So use memory manager show memory accordingly as per our declaration. Memory manager will allocate me 5 into 4 20 bytes of memory. वो byte memory का मैंने खसरे allocate ये array खसरे allocate by the memory manager. Memory manager carry ये array खसरे 20 bytes of memory allocate. तो चूँकि ऐसे definition of the memory array पर as though array is the group of elements of the same data types. Array is the group of elements of same data type referred by a single name. Can of name of the source array to name A. तो आत्म चैसे 5 element करें store. क्योंकि ये बात ये चीज़ declaration है. ये मतलब declaration of array करें चे तब साथ खाली space ये चीज़ allocate करना. अच्छा memory manager चीज़ करें space allocate. Storage space करें allocate to this array. At time of declaration, we have not inserted any element in these places. We throw us कोई चीज़ यात्म कोई element That means we have not initialized yet this array. We can array initialize here. Now there are two ways by which we can initialize the array. By which we can put the elements in the array. Initialization means to put the elements in the array. To assign the elements in the array. Array was element round. That's initialization. We have not initialized any element yet in the array. In case while we are going to declare the array, at a time of declaration, we are only telling the compiler that what type of data we are going to store in the array. Tam such as curly can data is stored and how much data are we going to be stored. To kuta data chas size kuta chas traun. The data is answer from care. But initialization means to insert the data. Data is traun. Data is element data. That is called an initialization. So there are two ways by which we can initialize an array. First one is the compile time initialization. कंपाइल टाइम इनिशियलाइजेशन क्या गई, ये गई स इनिशियलाइजेशन यस अगर एट द टाइम ऑफ डिक्लेरेशन व्हेन वी आर गोइंग टू इनिशियलाइज द एलिमेंट एट द टाइम ऑफ डिक्लेरेशन यम से डिक्लेयर करान एलिमेंट अमी साथ अगर अत मज एलिमेंट डाटा तक स्टोर करो तथ वन कंपाइल टाइम इनिशियलाइजेशन। फॉर एग्जांपल ये गई डिक्लेरेशन अगर मैं लिख इंट a of 5 equal to 5 2 3 1 and 0 ये क्या फर्स्ट एलिमेंट यूज a of 0 क्या जी a of 1 a of 2 a of 3 a of 4 this first element that first index index is 0 because array index starts from 0 to n minus 1 the array index starts from 0 to 1 minus 1 this array index starts from 0 to n minus 1 n minus for size minus 1 n for size minus 1 क्योंकि यह array to size 5 ये 5 करो minus 1 so बनो 0 to 5 नवाज 4 गो last index 4 क्या जी यह क्या गया कंपाइल टाइम इनिशियलाइजेशन गोडुक एलिमेंट गि स्टोर दयिम एलिमेंट गई स्टोर त्रेयिम गि चूरिम गि एंड 0 दिस इज करेक्ट यह तरीक इनिशियलाइजेशन कर ओके फर्स्ट वे दिस इज कंपाइल व्हेन वी आर गोइंग टू इनिशियलाइज द एलिमेंट एट द टाइम ऑफ द डिक्लेरेशन दैट टाइप ऑफ इनिशियलाइजेशन इज कॉल्ड कंपाइल टाइम इनिशियलाइजेशन अत कंपाइल टाइम इनिशियलाइजेशन गो गोडनेथ गो ब्या तरीक अगर मे को इंट a of 5 ये ठीक मे कर 5 and 2 मे कर खाली 2 एलिमेंट यथ में स्पेसिफाई 5 to 2 क्योंकि यस में साइज ऑफ एरे इसमें साइज ऑफ एरे सो क्या 5 दैट मीन्स मेमोरी मैनेजर हैव एलोकेटेड द स्पेस फॉर 5 एलिमेंट्स then can allocate space 5 elements but at this time I have initialized only 2 elements like initialize कुछ element 2 element that means first will go in the first गोडन गस a of 0 में तो दयिम गस a of 1 पर कोई नम 3 नम 3 element in space ये यूज में बनाए क्या से automatically the compiler will insert the rest of the element is 0 बाकी उनका ऑटोमेटिकली 0 ओके गो अगर आठ एलिमेंट करो इनिशियलाइज अको एलिमेंट करो इनिशियलाइज अगर हथ एलिमेंट इन एरे बनो पत त्रोस एक्स मज वैल्यू यम बाकी नमनमत तिमन गस ऑटोमेटिकली 0 टेक केयर ऑफ अगर बा ये उस पाते ये एलिमेंट कर एक्सेस बदत या कुछ एलिमेंट छु मे हाई रिजल्ट 0 तिकाज ऑटोमेटिकली यम सस आठ एलिमेंट करो एट द टाइम कंपाइलेशन करो आठ एलिमेंट इनिशियलाइज द रेस्ट ऑफ द एलिमेंट्स मुझ गस ऑटोमेटिकली कंपाइलर से अत त्रावान 0 करान इनिशियलाइज बाय zeros ओके यू टेक केयर ऑफ दीस थिंग्स दिस इज आल्सो करेक्ट यू शुड ब्याक थी मगर एमसी कैसे है प्रॉब्लम गोडने का मतलब बाकी में कैसे ऑटोमेटिकली 0 ब्याक अगर मैं करता हूं मतलब इंट a ऑफ इसके अगर मैं इनिशियलाइज डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ एरे इसके कर इंट मैं जो साइड की मैं याव इन द प्रीवियस में डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ एरे वो ताकि वो यहां में एरर मगर अगर इसके इनिशियलाइज को देखती मैं को 5 4 3 2 0 मैं त्रा यहां 8 2 3 4 5 एलिमेंट्स 5 एलिमेंट्स को इनिशियलाइज मगर साइज होने में कहीं यहां नहीं में इतना से एरर किया क्या है एरर क्या तो क्या है क्योंकि यू सीम 5 एलिमेंट इज दे आर द टाइप ऑफ इंटीजर कंपाइलर कर में को मेमोरी मैनेजर एलोकेट हाउ मेनी एलिमेंट्स to 8 2 3 4 5 अगर इंटीजर से 5 4 बाइट रखन 5 into 4 20 बाइट्स कैसे में allocate गोडनिक सिंगस ऑटोमेटिकली 5 देन सिंगस 4 3 सिंगस 3 देन सिंगस 2 और यहां सिंगस 0 गो ये जिम साथ अगर मैं स्विटियस इनिशियलाइजेशन तक कर ये तक मैं डिक्लेरेशन एज वेल एज इनिशियलाइजेशन एट अ टाइम एक साथ करूं तो साइज को मैं स्पेसिफाई कहीं इट विल नॉट शो मी एरर बल्कि the compiler, the memory manager will allocate 20 bytes of memory for this array. मगर अगर मैं योर इनिशियलाइजेशन करने की साइज होने की डिक्लेयर यूज कर इसके एरे मतलब इसके ये होने में की इट विल शो मी एन एरर तम साथ है मेरे एरर को डिक्लेरेशन में की एरर है मगर इनिशियलाइज अगर इसके कर it will allocate me the memory equal to number of elements कोई एलिमेंट तुमन को like this memory का इसमें allocate this is another way of initializing and element compile time at the time of compilation. Go, you should switch on to kuta tariko hackers initialize element at the time of the. Agar मैं कर कौन में हो int a of 5 इच्छी chances पास हम 5 4 3 2 0 1 5 आग 2 3 4 5 6 7 क्योंकि मैं कर 7 element I want मैं कर 7 element से initialize मगर space से मैं कर declaration से मैं कर declare array सच हम करने कुता 5 ने element है उसे पर जब पर हम 7 it will show me error I'm sorry finding error go ये सही declaration अब मैं इसके क्या declaration या initialization it will show me an error क्या because I have declared the array for only whose size is 5 that means 25 into 4 20 bytes will be allocated by the memory manager but I am going to initialize this array by 7 elements go बस 7 element की मतलब को 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 that means 28 bytes में नजर ये जन में से memory में आए बस वो है byte है memory में allocate 20 bytes in सुबह one element as a store that will show me an error it is not a good way of initializing it is wrong उसके हम initialization is करते हैं we have to take बस one कुछ way है कोई इसके कम चीज़ों का ख्याल रखो when we are going to initialize an array at compile time next ब्याक ये चु इतने की कारण initialization यहाँ की हाँ बल्कि int मैं array में यह int a5 मिसाल इनसे पता लगे you can make it declare बल्कि a of 0 equal to 5 a of 1 equal to 4 a of 3 equal to a of 2 equal to 3 a of 3 equal to 2 and a of 4 equal to 0 and this is correct magar it is not a best way it is not a good way of initialization ये छन असल way छन best programming छन ये क्या है अगर मैं हाथ है उसमें 5 एलिमेंट अगर मैं हाथ से एलिमेंट या a of 0 तक में क्या कराओ a of 1 अलग a of 2 a of 3 up to a of 9 तक go tell like that so every time initialization it is not a good way ये छन असल but we can initialize error this way उसका कोई can take it is also correct but this practice is not a considered as a best practice. You should best practice you want man. Asal three chuni. Because I get so time consumed with the initialization. So you can use bachawan time space. Bachaw. My name is you get a lengthy program. So we should avoid this type of initialization. These types of initialization patches can avoid. Other for example. और टाइम आशाम साम मैं हो कोई मैं 8 कोई मैं a of 5 डिक्लेयर ये हो मैं इतने मैं हो ना कोई एलिमेंट आत्मस मैं हो ना कोई एलिमेंट हो में आत्मस तो what will happen and I'm क्या gets come it will show me an error यह है ने error अगर मैं इतने को कितने क्या होने को एलिमेंट यह है error अगर मैं इतने को int a of 5 ये निम्सात नहीं को मेमोरी में अंदर इसके ना this week 0 a of 0 a of 1 a of 2 a of 3 and a of 4 तो यह में ऑटोमेटिकली शी निम्सात इसका मेमोरी से या सही allocate कराने चाहिए मेमोरी मैनेजर तक मुझे संग garbage value by default तक निकालना कौन-सी का use operating system चु तक संग garbage value that can be anything so कि garbage value है कैसे कैसे आप चीज but these are the ways by which we can initialize an array ये में तरीका हको initialize करते array कि ये में उत्तर at the time of compilation तो जरूरी छुने न कर int array but की array है character a of 5 you have to think it but for example a E I O U कैसे मैं कर यहाँ में vowels गो यम से क्या गस कम मैं बनो कैरेक्टर एरे बनाने मगर अख मुझ में करें कैरेक्टर कांस्टेंट्स के अच्छी पोर्मन व्हाट आर दीज आर द व्हाट आर कैरेक्टर कांस्टेंट द कैरेक्टर कांस्टेंट्स आर द characters या single alphabet single character enclosed in a single quotes मे छ थोन का single binding character गो आई मतलब यहाँ गस a यहाँ गस e यहाँ गस I यहाँ गस o यहाँ गस u तो एम साथ कुछ मेमोरी कार्ड में allocate memory manager सो कर एज पर this data type क्योंकि अच्छा पता है क्लियर छ ये अख बाइट ऑफ मेमोरी रटन या समी छ से इस करन अख बाइट ऑफ मेमोरी करन छ कंज्यूम कुछ किया 8 2 3 4 5 byte of memory kind allocate memory manager when I am going to declare the type this. तो बाहर float is declared. वो it depends upon मैं क्या चुका हूँ मैं कुछ डाटा से जोड़ा मैं क्या चुका है नीड का चीज़ में ताकि मुझे लिखा है असल पोट है ये करे अगर मैं कुछ कहूँ for example मैं लोग किया a of 5 नहीं करने और बन लोग ना अकोई a comma e जी करना पड़ता है क्या कैसे कहूँ eight I could initialize number trend क्या कहती even null character by default use operating system choose compilers to try was null character null character will be allocated will be these three spaces the spaces for these three elements will be initialized by a null character तिमन null character गया तो या insert go उस वाला इतना कि this is the one way of initialization of the array at the time of compilation. Go you must different ways you must recalls at the time of compile time initialization है को करेक्ट ओके मुझे सवाल कि compile time initialization से तम साथ करें ये साथ कम ही डाटा है जरूरत फॉर एग्जांपल अच्छे 5 एलिमेंट करने या मुझे इनिशियलाइज ये सवाल ये है को इसके मगर ये साथ वारिया डाटा आसे we have to insert 100 elements 1000 elements we have to initialize it by 1000 actually array is here actually and a of 1000 actually source element and count initialization count then so like a of source like was 5 2 3 it is time consuming process even time consuming it by the readability role in asal kya it is not a good practice then sat karano is a demerit of this a disadvantage of this compile time initialization then sat chhan sani khotre compile time initialization asal choose karin kya then sat just तम साथ कितने करा हुआ initialization this is very largest data store करने we have to store a large amount of data through arrays how which type of data we are going to prefer that is the runtime compilation initialization at that time we will prefer runtime compilation तम साथ ना runtime initialization तम साथ करो runtime initialization करो तम साथ prefer तम साथ हम साथ large amount of data ऐसे store करें initialize करें तो ये साथ कम elements आसन तो it is better to initialize these elements by using the compile time at the time of compilation okay तो runtime compilation क्या क्या कराना है सब जो है इतना सुन वही भी ऐसा चीज है that is the runtime compilation ये initialization runtime और runtime initialization runtime initialization क्या है मुझे जिसे runtime initialization क्या है in case of runtime initialization we are going to use some standard functions उस आप में करना कि standard functions for initializing elements for example कितने मैं का प्रोग्राम लगभग for example बड़े wide man कहता है शो पाते हैं कि पहले ने जैसे हेडर फाइल तुम करो उस पाने int I clear screen sorry int after I after the array is int a of 5 array after meetness one element is declare clear screen printf enter elements of an array for I equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, scanner, person D, person A, address of A, take किया अब आपका प्रोग्राम बनाओ मैं where we will see how the runtime initialization takes place. Runtime initialization kit thing gets runtime initialization themselves when we want which at the time of compilation before start CSS divan elements. Compilation time initialization. Start CSS at the time of declaration of the element initialize with the values. That means those values cannot be changed later. Put us in value change. They are the fixed value. They must not fix it. They must change income. If we want to change the values at the runtime, if you want to take the values from the user, user's value. User whose value one me. Initialization with Gasun, user sensor. That means you choice users to enter the values. At that time, we are going to use the runtime initialization. For example, if array I index A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, A of 3 loop A of 5 constant elements of array declare enter elements of an array. You may prompt enter elements of an array. This whatever is in between these quotes. Printf is Kermicha, we have already discussed it in the previous videos that printf, the working of printf is to display that, to print that on the something on the computer screen. Print current display current, such as current printf. Printf function, which are inbuilt function, you say to use current. Whatever is between the two these quotes. Double quotes on that will get displayed on the computer screen. That will get displayed on this. That will get printed. Print enter elements of an array. And loop gets start. We have already discussed the loop. We have already discussed the loop in detail in previous videos. I equal to 1. I value initialize as 0. I already use index of array 2. That is starts from 0 to n minus 1. Okay, we are going to access this element with this index. This element can't access current elements of an array. You just current through their indexes. So that will be discussed in the next video. Here, take care. I equal to 0. We have initialized first I by 0. I less than 5. Kya I value is less than 5? Yes, 0 is less than 5. That means this condition is true. Whenever this condition evaluate is true, the control will enter into the body of the loop. Control goes as body. That gives you scanf function. Scanf function lagana se input karne khatre. In order to enter the value from the keyboard, we use the scanf function. Scanf standard input device पे के कौन सी चीज enter करने खोज करा ये इस्तेमाल scanf. इसके printf चे करा display करने खोज इतने के करा output खोज इतने के चीज input खोज करा scanf function इस्तेमाल. Percent should apply it is the format specified for integers and address of a. Address of a that means a caption is address of I. Sorry. I 0 I less than 5 I plus percentage a address a of I. Sorry, a of I. Address of a of I. A of I capture. A of I caption is I to 0, A of 0 is element. For example, input enter 5, control by I plus. I gets plus, I was 0, you can 1, control gets job. I less than 5, kya 1 shall output 5, yes, 1 is less than 5, this condition evaluate is true, control gets it. Second, percent address of A of I gets A of 1 capture, E location, I can get no element. For example, user input enter 8. Biggest is I plus plus 2. Biggest condition check I less than 5. 2 shall output points. Yes, condition check will be true. Second percent address of A of I caption case 2. That means A of 2 is location. Yet in try dark element in throw 9. I plus plus divide 3. Biggest condition check 3 less than 5. Yes, 3 is less than 5. Second percent that means use element address of A of I expect A of I go A of 3 expect A of 3 see location after throwing 13. Biggest I plus plus given 4. I less than 5 4 shall apply 5. Yes, condition is true. Your condition true is second person the address of A of I. A of I means A of 4. A of 4 for example intro 12. I plus plus divided 5. Big as I less than 5. No, 5 is not less than 5. 5 should lock with 5 as can. The tension क्या कहते हैं equality? False. Then false way, control will go outside the body of the loop. Control the body never. It can actually come with non element of secure. And this is the way, this is the method by which we can initialize the array at the time of the compilation. Runtime. Runtime is the किसके चेक करान. Runtime मतलब इसको कुछ users ने रटान values by using some loops. उससे बोलता है loops इस्तेमाल करें या while loop करो, for loop करो या do while loop करो या बल्कि का method करो. मगर at the time of वो दे में लगता है कि इमेजिएट जैसे for example a of 2 to 9 ये है 10 थी अगर दे में लगता है तो उनका erase. मगर अगर मैं at the time of compile कर initialization that cannot be changed later. This can be changed. यह को change last as per the according to the user's choice. Go here. I hope that समझ how will we initialize the elements in an array. This array element किसके करो initialize. There are two ways by which we can initialize the element. First one is the compile time initialization and second one is the runtime initialization. I have discussed here all the ways, all the methods by which we can initialize the array. Hope कि तयास समझ initialization of array both at the time of runtime and at the compile time. And inshallah, in next video we will discuss the how we are going to access the elements of an array. That will be discussed in the next video. And we have to take care of these things that we should use the compile time initialization only when we have an array of small size. In such small size array, then such compile time initialization. And when we have a size of a large array of a large size, then it is better to use this runtime initialization. It will save us both time and effort, and our program will become more readable. So hope कि तया समझ असल पर समझ गए. तो till next video, take care. Bye bye.